Let's just forget all the stereotypes for a minute. Seriously, we're not just going to talk about spreadsheets and tax codes today. Nope. We're going to dig into the one thing that truly separates a good accountant from a great one, and that's their personality.
So let me ask you this. When you hear great accountant, what's the first thing that pops into your head? Is it someone kind of buried in paperwork, like a human calculator who just lives and breathes tax law?
Well, here's a little hint. The secret ingredient, it's not found on a calculator. Look, technical skill is absolutely crucial, don't get me wrong. But it's only half the story. The real game changer is something much more, well, human.
Yeah, we're talking about personality. It's the secret weapon, that often overlooked factor that works its magic beyond the balance sheet. It's like this invisible force that can truly make or break a career in finance.
Just think about it for a second. Your personality isn't some passive background trait. It's the active lens that shapes every single thing you do. From calming down a nervous client, to collaborating on a high-stakes audit, to making a really tough ethical call when you think no one's watching.
Now, to really get a handle on all this, psychologists use some pretty specific frameworks. So, we're going to explore two of the most important ones for the accounting profession. We'll start with two very different but equally crucial models.
So on one side, you've got the hexaco model. This basically maps out the core parts of a healthy, effective personality. And then on the other side, we have the dark triad, which helps us spot traits that are, frankly, destructive. One is about building yourself up, the other is about protecting yourself from others, and you need to understand both.
All right, first up is hexaco. Think of this model as giving us a six-dimensional map of our personality. It's this really comprehensive profile that goes way, way deeper than simple labels like introvert or extrovert.
The first dimension, and honestly, maybe the most unique one, is honesty, humility. This isn't just about telling the truth. It's about a fundamental sense of fairness, sincerity, and a lack of greed. In a field that is literally built on trust, you can see right away why this is so critical.
And here's the real payoff. An accountant with this trait doesn't just do honest work, they build confidence. Clients trust them. Colleagues rely on them. They basically become a pillar of integrity for their whole firm. That's huge.
Okay, next up is emotionality. This one measures our tendency to experience things like anxiety, fear, and sentimentality. Now, this isn't about being emotional or unemotional in some simple way. It's really about your default response when the pressure is on.
And professionally, this is a really big deal. An accountant who's lower on the emotionality scale can stay calm and rational when the stakes are at their highest. They're just less likely to make an impulsive decision that's driven by fear or some kind of market panic.
Then we've got extroversion and agreeableness. So extroversion is about being sociable and assertive, which is great for things like client meetings and leadership roles. Agreeableness, on the other hand, is about being patient, cooperative, and empathetic, which is really the bedrock of effective teamwork.
And this is just so important because accounting is hardly ever a solo sport, right? It demands intense collaboration. And agreeableness is the trait that lets teams work smoothly, resolve conflicts in a constructive way, and build a positive, harmonious work culture.
All right, now for conscientiousness. This is the one everyone probably associates with accountants. And you know what? For good reason. It's all about being organized, diligent, precise, and reliable. It is the engine of accuracy.
And this is exactly why it's non-negotiable in this field. Being highly conscientious isn't just a nice-to-have. It's a professional safeguard. It directly translates into fewer errors and much more reliable financial reporting. Period. And finally, we have openness to experience. Now this might be the most underrated trait for an accountant. It's about curiosity, creativity, and a willingness to actually embrace new ideas and technologies. And in today's world, this is a massive advantage. I mean, the financial landscape is changing constantly. An accountant who's high in openness isn't just keeping up, they're getting ahead. They're adapting to new rules and leveraging new tools to get better results. Okay, now let's flip the coin over. We've seen the traits that build up a great accountant. Now we have to turn to the cautionary tale of the dark triad. These are the personality traits that can lead to unethical and sometimes even criminal behavior. So this triad is made up of three pretty toxic and often overlapping traits. First, you've got narcissism, with its inflated sense of self-importance. Then, Machiavellianism, that's the cold, strategic use of manipulation for personal gain. And finally, psychopathy, which is a chilling lack of empathy and remorse.
So why on earth does an accountant need to know this stuff? Well, because it's basically a practical survival guide. Understanding these traits helps you stay vigilant in fraud investigations. It helps you spot ethical dilemmas before they completely blow up. It tells you to be cautious with manipulative clients or colleagues. And ultimately, it helps you protect the integrity of your own work.
So, okay, we have these two powerful models, one for building yourself up and one for guarding against others. How do we actually use them? Well, it all comes down to self-awareness, especially when the pressure is on. This is where all the theory really hits the real world.
And a key tool for this is mindfulness. Now, it's not about emptying your mind or anything like that. It's simply about paying attention to the present moment, on purpose, without judging it. Think of it as the practice of building the muscle of awareness.
And for an accountant, the benefits are incredibly direct. Mindfulness leads to better focus, which, of course, means fewer mistakes. It helps you just pause for a second before making an impulsive call. It improves your ability to stay calm under pressure, and it makes you more aware of your own biases, which leads to better, more ethical choices all around.
So, we end up right back where we started. After seeing just how deeply personality shapes performance, integrity, and success, it's pretty clear it's not a soft skill. It's your most valuable professional asset. The only question left is how are you going to invest in it?